So the other day on the show, we discussed, was it a senator or a congressman? One of these people came out and accidentally admitted the real reason why the U.S. government is banning TikTok. And we covered it, and it was like a holy shit moment, right? He said the quiet part out loud. It's like, you moron, that's the stuff you say behind closed doors. This isn't the thing you say in public. Because then you validate all your harshest critics. They were too dumb to realize it. Well, guess what? Mitt Romney sitting down with Anthony Blinken. And Mitt Romney also accidentally admits the real reason for the TikTok ban. Watch this. This is incredible.
Why has the PR been so awful? I know that's not your area of expertise, but you have to have some thoughts on that, which is, I mean, as you've said, why has Hamas disappeared in terms of public perception? An offer is on the table to have a ceasefire, and yet the world is screaming about Israel. It's like, why aren't they screaming about Hamas?
How idiotic does this look, given the news that we just got, that now multiple times Hamas accepted a deal and Israel rejected it? Israel rejected it. By the way, the only reason Hamas was rejecting all these deals is because the deals don't include an end to the fighting. The deals are like, we'll give you 2 weeks, and then we'll go back to massacring your kids. Of course they're going to reject that. But even now, we have maybe gotten to the point where they'll even accept a temporary pause, and Israel's still like, nah, we're going to invade Rafah. We're going to kill thousands and thousands more kids and women. So, God, these people, it's always hard to tell, right? Are they nefarious liars or are they just idiots? It's always hard to tell.
The ceasefire, bring home the hostages. It said it's all the other way around. I mean, typically the Israelis are good at PR. What's happened here? How have they and we been so ineffective at communicating?
It's kind of hard to override a genocide with marketing and PR and virtue signaling. That's your end. That's the answer, Mitt Romney. It's kind of hard to look at 38,000 dead civilians and 16,000 dead kids and 10,000 dead women and 2 million Gazans now homeless and over half the buildings in Gaza obliterated. It's kind of hard to look at that and find a way to spin that as if we're being defensive and we're moral. It's kind of hard to do that. That's why you're losing. Because the facts on the ground are overwhelming and reasonable people cannot deny those facts. You can because you're not reasonable, but reasonable people can't deny them.
The reality's there. And
we're on an intravenous feed of information with new impulses, inputs every millisecond. And of course, the way this is played out on social media has dominated the narrative. And you have a social media ecosystem environment in which context, history, facts get lost. And
that is so ironic because that's what these guys do. The facts and the history of everything. You're more likely to learn about that on TikTok or YouTube than you are in mainstream media. He's got it exactly backwards. You guys are the ones that emotionally manipulate and don't stick to the facts and the history.
The emotion, the impact of images dominates. And we can't discount that. But I think it also has a very, very, very challenging effect on the narrative.
Yeah, a small parenthetical point, which is some wonder why there was such overwhelming support for us to shut down potentially TikTok or other entities of that nature. If you look at the postings on TikTok and the number of mentions of Palestinians relative to other social media sites, it's overwhelmingly so among TikTok broadcasts. So I'd note that's of real interest, and the president will get the chance to make action in that regard.
He just admitted it. He just admitted it, bro. He just said it. He just came out and said, look, this is all about Israel and Gaza and Palestinians. This is all about the ethnic cleansing and the genocide. You see a lot of pro-Palestinian stuff over on TikTok. And so there was overwhelming support to ban it because we don't want that. We want pro-Israel stuff. We want our narrative to get through. We want their narrative to be illegal. We want to censor them. We want to ban them. By the way, this admission is almost an acknowledgement that we're violating the First Amendment to the U.S. Constitution. Free speech, free expression, that's something the government cannot stop. That's something the government cannot curtail. And he's saying our whole point doing this was to curtail it. Was to curtail it. Now, he might go on to say, well, I think it's inauthentic behavior and it's like bots or whatever, they're being pro-Palestinian. He didn't say that, and I don't know if he really believes that, but he might believe that. But even in that scenario, we have a lot of fucking astroturfed bullshit, pro-Israel shit that's floating around. We got a whole Israel lobby that spends millions and millions of dollars to sway the narrative in their direction. He's got no problem with that, right? So there you go. I told you, China was the cover story. You guys know, China and the people who own it, and oh my God, your data might be getting to the CCP. You fucking idiots. Trump signed a bill when he was president that got rid of any data privacy protections you had online. That ship sailed a long time ago. Corporations can sell your data to a third party without your approval. There is no more privacy online. It's not there. It's gone. Everybody knows that. You're worried about the CCP. Literally any and every corporation has and will sell your data to whoever the fuck they want. If any government comes knocking on the door too, they'll probably sell it to them for the right price. So that ship's already sailed. The CCP has 47 ways to get your data. So the idea that that's the concern is nonsense. Is nonsense. And by the way, the U.S. government also spies on fucking everybody. They want you to put your fucking personal information in your driver's license in before you jack off in a lot of states. They want to know exactly the sort of kinks that you're fucking into. Are you kidding me? And I'm supposed to be worried about the CCP? But that was the cover story. China, 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 China. No, the reality is TikTok was a hotbed for pro-Palestine speech. And by the way, like I said, you get more facts information there than you do in mainstream media. That's for damn sure. And that's crazy to say, but it's true. And he's like, we had to shut that down. By the way, it's also an acknowledgement. I don't think we could even win if we're having an honest discussion. That's the acknowledgement from Mitt Romney here. I don't know. Their narrative seems particularly potent and powerful. Yeah, because they're right. That's why. And he acts like we can't, in the marketplace of ideas, that goofy saying, we can't defeat it. So what do? Just ban it. Just ban it. By the way, that bill is also more far-reaching. It gives the government the ability to shut down other social media platforms if they want to. That's a terrifying thought, man. That's a fucking terrifying thought if I ever heard one in my life. Here we are. Here we are, y'all. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop. And watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.